Hi friends, just a quick video about corporate communism. Now before I give you an example from Australia, I need to make two statements. Firstly, if 51% of the population, which basically means a simple majority, if 51% of the population has got no means to afford their own business and survive, then the society cannot be classified as capitalistic society. And if 67% of the population, which is more than 2/3 the population, which is absolute majority, if 67% of the population works as employees, then it doesn't matter who owns the businesses. In case the businesses are owned by government, I would classify that society as socialist communism. And if it's the big corporations, private corporations who own those businesses, then I would classify that society as corporate communism. So effectively, today, America, Australia, and European nations, where most of the businesses are owned by big corporate houses, they are not capitalist anymore. They are not capitalistic economies, but rather they are corporate communisms. Because absolute majority of the population in those countries, they are working as employees. So it doesn't matter, doesn't make any difference who owns the businesses in those countries, because all the majority has got as an option is to work for someone else and get paid. Doesn't matter who pays you the salary. If you're working as an employee, doesn't matter whether you're living in capitalistic society or communistic society. Now, let me take the example from Australia that will clarify my points even further. Now, every Aussie is aware of the small size of Indian population in Australia. Now, every Aussie also knows how there are many small grocery stores which cater to the needs of the Indian community, because they are selling products which are specifically according to the taste of the Indian population. Small Indian grocery stores. Now they are the stores which are owned by small families. They are run by those families and they employ 2 or 3 other people to help in the smooth running of those things. But the thing is, even today in Australia, people of Indian origin have an option that if they have a few $1,000, say about 20,000, they can take a small loan from the bank and set up a small business, and not only survive on that business, but they make better money than many Indians who are working in some other sectors. And the same is the case with Asian grocery stores as well. Now, even though Indians themselves classify as Asians, but somehow the term is used to differentiate people from countries like China, Vietnam, Philippines, etc. Now, there are specific small stores which cater to their needs, the Asian grocery stores. And the thing is, people of Indian and Asian origins still have the option to set up their own small business and survive. Now, it's another thing that big supermarkets like Coles, Woolworths, Foodland, etc., they're slowly diversifying into those markets as well. But still today, Indian and Asian populations have an option to do a small business. But can an Aussie do the same thing? Can an Aussie today open a small grocery store which caters to the need of Australian population, in spite of the fact the Aussie population is much huge as compared to small population of Indians? But still, an ordinary Aussie cannot open a business and compete with big corporations like Coles, Woolworths, Foodland, etc. And the worst part is, as I said, that these corporations are sort of diversifying and trying to bring in products from Asian and Indian markets as well. So they are basically trying to snatch the customers from the Indian and Asian grocery stores as well now. Now, let us project this scenario a bit into the future. It is going to happen anyways, but right now we are just posing that let's say that these organizations start effectively catering to Asian and Indian populations. What will happen in those cases? Today, the small stores which are being operated by Indian families or Asian families, which are feeding their families and giving them an opportunity, that's an opportunity for them to set up their small business and succeed. Tomorrow, these big corporations will slowly squeeze them out of those businesses. How? A small family with one small store cannot compete with prices with big corporations. So what these big corporations have already done to the Aussies by pushing them out of the market and finishing their opportunity to set up their own small business, the same thing is going to happen with the Indian and Asian populations as well, which will be a sad day. Which will be a sad day because that means people like me will not have an opportunity anymore to be their own bosses, to set up their own businesses. But this is not capitalism. And today, because Indians and Asians can open these small grocery stores, this does not make Australia a communistic country. It's not small business which makes a country communistic country. A government supporting small business actively, promoting and protecting it, is not a communist government. It is a government which is actually doing something for the people. Does any Aussie think that I, as an ordinary man, knows all this stuff, but people like Prime Minister Julia Gillard, former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd and John Howard, and Leader of Opposition Mr. Tony Abbott, do you think these people are not intelligent enough to know these things? But the question is, have they done anything to protect and save the small businesses? And if they haven't, what is the reason you think they haven't done it? All said and done, a small business or a government protecting small business does not make a country a communistic country, a party a communistic party. In fact, it strengthens this society. And how it strengthens this society? Let's take this example a bit further. Today, entire Indian population which exists in Australia, its money which it spends on groceries is going into multitudes of accounts, because every Indian goes to a separate Indian store and buys products from their stores, and the profit stays in the bank account of the owner of that small store. And there are multitudes of stores, small stores. So entire Indian population's money is being spread out throughout the economy, which means more people have money in their banks. But had it been Coles or Woolworths or Foodland or other major supermarkets which had been catering to the Indian population, then all the money of the Indian population would have been accumulating in the accounts of those few organizations, which is, it would have been constricting the money, squeezing the money into a few accounts. Now, in which case do you think a recession will happen? In which case do you think people have got better opportunity and more opportunity to succeed? It's not small business or promoting small business which makes a country or a party communist. In fact, what's happening in the Western society today, with all the corporations taking over businesses one after the other, this is monopolization. And all the governments in all the countries who are not doing anything to stop this monopolization, they are betraying the people who are voting for them. Because in democracy, government is not the ruler of the people. These people are our employees. We have contracted them for 4 years with a combined instrument, with a combined authority of vote. We are the ones who are employing them for 4 years, and if they fail to do their job properly after 4 years, we may not renew their contracts. We may choose someone else to do their job. Government is not the ruler in a democracy. It's an employee of the people. And government is not the owner of the resources. Government is only the caretaker of resources. We have elected those people so that they can use the resources available in our land in our best interest. We haven't made them the owners that go blow away all these resources. No. The thing is, people, think clearly what's happening to your society. Capitalism is fast deteriorating into corporate communism. In fact, this is corporate communism. If 60%, 67% of Aussies are working as employees, they are only living in a communistic society. The only difference from China is, in China everything is owned by the government. Over here, it's owned by the private corporations. This is no different than communism. India is still capitalistic, because in India, even the people who are living below the poverty line, the people that big social organizations claim to be supporting when they are running when they are running campaigns like surviving on $2 or $1.50 every day, even those people who live below poverty lines, even today they can open a small business in India and still survive along with their families. That is the power of true capitalism, and that is true capitalism. Small business is the power of the society, is the power of the economy, and small business is what we need. And that is true capitalism, not this corporate communism that we have today. Thanks for watching.